What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, the Sports Dr. Spock, Mickey Coleman from the Mick and Mike Love podcast and Sports Talk Radio here on YouTube. And here we're going to do a little professional wrestling reaction video. As you all know, Jim Cornette has probably one of the, Mike to me has the best wrestling podcast in the business with his partner Brian Last. They react to Hulk Hogan being booed at the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix from the Intuit Stadium or Dome in Los Angeles, California. Let's see what Jim and Brian have to say about the Hulkster getting booed. Good Lord.
The moment we've all been waiting for. The music played, and here came Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart. He is a real American. Americans hate him as only Americans. This was the best thing I've ever seen. You would think in Los Angeles, maybe it's not like it's not New York or Philadelphia. It's a crowd of Hollywood hipsters. They want to see the stars. It's a night of nostalgia and also moving forward. It's Hulk Hogan. He was the WWF in the 80s. They wouldn't give a cripple crab a crutch, much less give Hulk Hogan a fucking break here. They booed him out of the building as he was trying to do the promo where he put the WWE and the fans over and talk about how great the fans are and how great tag team partners they've been for. They were hooting him out.
Goddamn commercial. Shit.
I think, we were talking a little earlier about how, well, they really like Mick Foley as a human being, right? And they like The Rock as a star, but they're kind of in the middle with Cena. They like him as a star, but he's also a nice human being, whereas The Rock is just on Mount Olympus. But this was an example of, we don't care whether you've been a star or not as a person. We hate the fuck out of you. Has he just lied and bullshitted and...
See, Jim Cornette has pretty much an omnibus, as he calls it, of about, it's at least an hour long, about some of the untrue stories that Hulk Hogan has told over the years. I suggest you guys check that out. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people outside of the business may have a problem with Hulk Hogan, and a lot of people in the business have a problem with the Hulkster. He's not known for being the most honest person, allegedly, in the world. And there's just a lot of things. The Ultimate Warrior, before he did a hour shoot on Hulk Hogan before he passed away. Just an hour of just talking shit about Hulk Hogan. So a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on Hulk Hogan, but let's continue on with the video.
I mean, we know about the video. That was 10 years ago.
I think that's a big part of it. I think the video's the video's a major part of it. Again, it's in Los Angeles.
But he's been back and he's not been carried out of the building on their shoulders, but they haven't.
He's been back and they didn't boo him like that.
When he was there a couple years ago making an appearance. This was like, fuck you, we're sick the fuck of you.
No, they booed him from the second he came out. You felt bad for Jimmy Hart because he's out there waving the American flag as best he can, and they're just booing. He mentioned Andre the Giant and Randy Savage. They booed everything.
They almost booed Andre's name, but they wouldn't even react to Randy Savage because Hogan is the one who said it. And there's poor Jimmy, the nicest guy in the building, is back there waving that flag, and he's 80. And he was moving better than fucking Hogan was.
He looks great.
It's not easy just to wave a flag for 2 minutes straight. That's incredible at an 80-year-old.
Hogan looked crippled and his arms are gone. Jimmy's 80 years old. He's waving that flag, and the poor guy, he has to get Hogan's residual booze, but not just the video and just the general heat he had before, but this seemed like fresh. We keep hearing you and we keep seeing you, and you're full of shit every time we do, and we don't want to hear no more of you. This is a new day. Stay out of our goddamn business.
I think the video is a big part of it. I think it is too. I think that might be the biggest part of it, and I think he's probably stale now. I am 45 years old. In a few months, I'll be 46 years old this year. I've been watching Hulk Hogan since I was 6 years old. So I think part of it is that he's become just stale and people are just tired of seeing him. I know I don't really want to see him ever wrestle again. I don't want to see a 75-year-old, however old he is, leg drop no more. I'm done with that. The fact that his reputation over the last decade has grown as being just a liar. You know, the video where we talk about all of his lies, it's like 2 million people have watched that video.
Yeah.
And that's just our video. I mean, his reputation has grown. I do think for, especially Los Angeles, you know, politically leaning, not to make this about politics, I think that's a big part of it too. There's not much appealing about Hulk Hogan as a person right now. And again, he's coming out there, he's crippled. I mean, I've never seen him look that bad. He couldn't have made it to the ring. Like, they had to do this right where he took only like 10 steps and came out and waved. And they're booing everything, his beer that no one wants, that no one, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, Ric Flair had woo energy. This is like that on a bigger scale. They're now going to be sponsored.
Plus, kids are not going to be allowed to drink it. But that's the thing is that...
And that's a good point. Because what made him Hulk Hogan back when he first became really, really, really big is that he had appeal to children. Children everywhere loved him because he was the superhero type. And now he's just not that no more. He's just old man, unfortunately, that's in declining shape, as they just mentioned. But go ahead with the video.
He announced that, and a great tag team partner is going to be the WWF or WWE and my Real American Beer, and they hooted the shit out of the beer. But doesn't Steve Austin have a beer?
Oh, he did have something. I mean, it's been a while ago. I hadn't even thought about that. He did have something, yeah.
But how the fuck?
Because they want to make money, so they're not going to spend a bunch of money advertising on WWE.
But I'm gobsmacked that of all of the people that they've ever had on their roster, Hulk Hogan was say your prayers, take your vitamins. He was the kids' hero in the 80s. He was the all-American guy.
Right.
But if you think about drinking beer, you're thinking about Steve Austin. And how they missed that, I don't know. And why anybody would want to drink beer that Hulk Hogan... What does it, turn you into a fucking liar?
I've never had a conversation with Hulk Hogan, so I don't know if... I'm not sure if he's ever lied or not, but there's a lot of evidence out there that he's not the most honest person in the world. And has anybody had his beer yet? What is it like? Hit me up in the comment section if you've had any of Hulk Hogan's beer.
You know,
how and
him and Flair are very similar at this stage right now. In terms of just anyone who comes along with some money, hey, we want to slap your name on this product. Sure, brother. Just as long as you pay me my million, whatever.
But it's just and Hogan was never cool with the guys. I mean, guys liked Hogan, especially in the 80s and the NWO in the 90s. But was Hogan ever cool like Nature Boy Ric Flair, or cool like Hall and Nash, or a cool heel, or a cool anything? Or did he just hang around with the cool guys and he had more of a WWF ice cream bar reputation?
I think Hulk Hogan was cool up until around 86, 87, when all of a sudden he switched to yellow.
But was he cool to the adults?
I think he was cool up until that point. Then he became kind of a caricature of himself. as things became more successful and they kind of went down a different road and made him more kid-friendly, this was his town. You know, it's important to note he was a big...
See, Jim might have a better point on that aspect. Was he cool to adults? Brian Last is around my age. So Brian is probably a couple years, maybe 3 or 4 years younger. So, and Jim was already an adult by 86, 87. So how would Brian really know if he was cool with the adults? I think he, in 86 or 87, he was still admired by children at that time.
A big draw in L.A.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's not like this is the middle of nowhere. This is a town that he was a major star in.
Well, he can draw a crowd now. They'll all have rocks in their hands to throw at him, but he can gather the folks.
This has to make you wonder if they're going to rethink him being on Saturday night's main event.
Well, they can't bring him back after that reception, can they?
I don't see how. Because there's not one...
I don't see the point.
I can't think of a single legend that has ever been booed like that. I've never seen Hogan booed like that. Even when the NWO switch happened, that was in the middle of a heel turn, and he's doing a heel promo, and he calls the fans crap. That makes sense. They booed him from the second that music... Pat McAfee was yelling like Jesus returned. Oh my God! And he was the only one. Everyone else started booing immediately. And it kept up for the whole thing. Jimmy, it's just such a surreal sight.
He got up to boo Netflix. He's out. Netflix is our greatest tag team partner. The fans booed that.
Netflix was in the building. They saw that. So if they ever thought about, hey, we should do a Hulk Hogan project, maybe not. He's lost the fans completely. He has his fans, but in terms of...
They weren't there.
In terms of the wrestling fan base, would it even pop a number right now if Hulk Hogan was announced in advance as being there? I don't know.
I think you'd have more people on a picket line than you would in buying tickets to see the show.
You brought up Steve Austin. If Steve Austin was there, I think people would have reacted big.
Oh, they would have gone out of their minds.
It's a Hogan-specific thing. And again, like Flair, we started showing up at AEW TV, and it was not very good. All of a sudden, his energy drink was all over the ring. We heard it was a multi-year thing. That ended quick. The Hogan beer. You know, again, this is not Coors Light or Michelob or anything you could think of that's a nationally recognized brand. It's an upstart with Hulk Hogan as the spokesperson or icon or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, let's see how long this lasts. This will be interesting.
Another.
Are you ready for FanDuel's The Great Playoff Payoff? Who's in?
Please give me
That was the word. I mean, I can't think of a more counterproductive appearance for someone trying to promote their own product.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I'm thinking if there is a new audience, they're going to be, why? We thought Hulk Hogan was a big hero. These people want to lynch him. What the fuck?
Should he come out as NWO Hogan at Saturday night's main event? Now he's a heel yelling at them to take advantage of this.
No, because that's the thing, is that these people made it clear, and if they speak for the rest of these high-ticket price-paying WWE fans, it was like, no, we do not want to see you. Boo, we do not like you. Go away from here. We are not going to pay to see you, nor do we want to look at you now. And that's, it wasn't even mixed, was it? Were the people who wanted to cheer him, were they just afraid to open their mouths? They might get shot?
See, that's the only thing. It started out and instantly with so many boos. I guess the only thing you could think of is that someone would be standing there wanting to cheer him, like, I don't want to be seen as the only person in the section doing this. That was bad. I mean, I never thought I'd see the day where Hogan was booed like that at a WWE event. I mean, they cheer everyone. That's crazy. But again, it's L.A., but we'll see what happens going forward.
They're meaner in New York and Philly than they are in L.A. Come on.
Even like him doing the cupping of the ear just didn't look good. Like
I'm tired of seeing this shit too. Don't want this shit no more.
he couldn't move his shoulder like that, I guess. I don't know what. Just it wasn't working.
Well, but besides that, he didn't need to cup his ear. He could hear him booing the shit out of him the plainest day.
Can you imagine they start booing and he's cupping the ear and he's doing what did they say to him when he went in the back? Because there was no, all right, we have like 30 seconds before he gets back here. No, he was right there because he couldn't walk.
Yeah. Oh, well, it worked in rehearsal. But I don't see how, because he mentioned the names of popular people who then the crowd turned against. So I don't see how they could bring him back. What do they go out and say, look, we got 3 or 4 guys that's really over as big stars, Hulk. Please don't mention their name. Please, just don't say anything about them.
Right, Hulk mentioning their names end up killing other guys' careers. What's your guys' opinion on the first Netflix period? If you checked out the last show, or the first Raw on Netflix, if you checked out the last show, we talked exclusively for about 2 hours. So go in the comment section and check out the last Mick and Mike podcast where me, Noel Smith, Mike Love, and DJ High Tech all spoke on the first Raw, and also Hogan being booed. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the Mick and Mike podcast, and also to Sports Talk Radio. I will put this on both channels, probably different days though. For your man, Mike Love, this is the Sports Doctor Spock. We'll holler at you Sunday. Take care.